The CBS 2 investigators have learned exclusively the city has agreed to settle 2 lawsuits against a Chicago police officer, costing taxpayers about $1.5 million in legal fees and payouts.
But as Dave Savini reports, those who sued are not happy. They're still asking, why is this officer still on the force?
First of all, she needs to be fired.
She should be off the streets. She should not be a police officer.
Christopher Gasper and Reverend Catherine Brown say their lives were put in jeopardy by Chicago police officer Michelle Morsi Murphy, and now taxpayers are shelling out 7 figures in settlements.
I was scared for my life.
Gasper was a Mount Carmel High School honor student when he and his friends were held at gunpoint by Chicago police, who, acting on a false report by Morsi Murphy, believed the teens committed an armed robbery.
My hands were outside of the window so he could see them, and he said, if you move, I'm going to blow your head off.
And where was his gun?
His gun was right here.
There?
Yeah.
Morsi Murphy was off duty when she called 911 to report a robbery of this 7-Eleven that never happened.
A gray hoodie, a white guy. He's Mexican. There's 3 nail black.
She followed Gasper and his friends, claiming they robbed yet another place.
I guarantee you they robbed this gas station.
Even the 911 operator gets frustrated with Morsi Murphy.
Hey, relax. You're an officer. I'm sorry. I'm going to relax. You're an officer. Let's behave like an officer. Yes, ma'am.
But 7-Eleven security cameras showed Gasper and his friends paid for their snacks and did nothing wrong. Morsi Murphy refused to talk to us about the case.
There's an allegation that you called 911 and made a bogus robbery call. What would happen if you or I called 911 and made a false report about someone?
They'll probably arrest us, take us in.
She got a 30-day suspension for the 2014 incident. Gasper says she should have been fired and prosecuted. He and his friends sued. We've learned, including fees, the case is costing taxpayers close to $400,000.
She don't know nothing about the truth.
Reverend Brown also sued after an alleged road rage case behind Brown's home with the same officer.
I definitely felt my life was on the line, and my children.
Brown called 911 for help. Brown says a gun was pointed at her with her children in the car, so she drove in reverse, heading to where she could yell for witnesses. There, her car was rammed by Morsi Murphy despite a 1-year-old and 8-year-old still in it. They were sprayed with mace, guns were pointed, and Brown taken down.
Catherine Brown says all she was trying to do was get in her driveway and that you threatened her life.
Morsi Murphy claimed Brown dragged her on the ground as Brown backed down the alley.
It never happened.
Ed Fox is Brown's attorney.
There was zero to corroborate it. We looked at her clothes. Her clothes weren't dirty like you'd expect.
Brown was charged with attempted murder, but she was found not guilty on that charge. Her case against Morsi Murphy also is settling. The tab for taxpayers, including legal fees, $1.1 million.
I could have served almost 30 years in prison for a made-up lie.
Reverend Brown was convicted of reckless conduct. The newly formed Civilian Office of Police Accountability says they are investigating Morsi Murphy's conduct in that case. She and the Chicago police said they could not comment because of pending litigation. The settlements need to be approved by City Council. The city previously settled a $40,000 case against this officer involving a bogus drug arrest of a woman who simply picked up her elderly mother's prescription drugs. The officer has more than 20 complaints, and we often see this. Police officers don't get charged criminally. It gets handled internally instead.
Okay, Dave, thank you.